It's time to start. Sorry, that was my Pepsi.
Would you still love me if this is the way I talked all the time?
No.
No?
Mm-mm.
Why are you so judgmental?
Because I am. Sorry. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning. Good morning. It's Wednesday. So it's Boss Up and List Day, which, if you are new to the channel, is our virtual all-day listing party that we do over the Boss Facebook group. If you're not in the Boss Facebook group, you should be, because every Wednesday morning I put a post up and people like check in, say what their goals are for the day, and then they check in later to see if they were able to accomplish them. And it's just a really fun way to kind of keep on top of things and get a bunch of stuff.
It's kind of like an all-day, one-day pep rally. Yeah,
pretty much. And then every other day of the week we do listing challenges too, the 2 or 2, hashtag 2 or 2, to keep people on their game,
on
listing
track,
every day,
accountable.
pretty much. Man, I am tired. So we had house guests, Vicky's brother, sister-in-law, and the kids were here for the last, I don't know, 4 nights or something like that. I think last night was the first night the kids did not get up at 4 in the morning, or if they did so very quietly.
They got up at about 5:15 this morning, and the dog didn't bark. That's why, for some reason.
Yeah, because we've been waking up like every single day at like 4:30, because the kids get up. I mean, the kids, to be fair, the kids have been very quiet for the first few hours in the morning. It's just that the dogs would bark because they would go downstairs where the dogs are. And so today, I guess they finally decided that the kids were okay and they weren't going to bark at them.
Yeah, I don't know. So my nephew he's a boy, right? So he is a 7-year-old boy that is loud and bouncy and
real bouncy,
jumping off the walls and bouncing off the walls. And they've been eating a lot of candy because, you know,
a kid after my own heart, guys.
No rules at Auntie Vicky's house, right? So lots of candy and sweets and treats. So, you know, so he bounces off the walls just a little bit more. So, you know, all that bouncing makes the dogs anxious because they're not around kids very much. They're like, what the heck is happening? Why is this little thing moving so much? So it was fun. It was fun. We had a really nice trip. We did a lot of fun stuff. We got a little bit of work done in the mornings, and then I pretty much took off the rest of the day by 2 o'clock to hang out with the family and stuff like that. This is the kind of job that, yes, we can take days off, but this time of the year I have to work at least a few hours a day. And thankfully my family was understanding.
I think it worked out really well. We were able to get some work done. I mean, we definitely did not get as much work done as we normally would, and we're feeling the pressure to like really
catch up this weekend.
You need to take a bunch of pictures today. I need to list a bunch today. So, but we had fun.
We did. We had a lot of fun. Took the kids to an interactive aquarium here in Las Vegas yesterday, and it was pretty good. It was not super expensive. They got to touch a lot of things. They had baby otters there that you got to we could touch their little paws, and they're kind of cute. So it was fun. And then we went to like this place that Dorothy had actually recommended. It was kind of like a Dave & Buster, in between Dave & Buster's and Chuck E. Cheese, if that makes sense. So it was kind of like Chuck E. Cheese on crack. But the kids had a good time. So video games and jumping around and running.
Yeah, and since it was like in the middle of a school week, there was like nobody there.
Yeah.
It was really quiet.
It was nice.
So it was actually kind of cool because we didn't have to wait for anything, and it was super quiet. But
yeah, so we just took a Joe's Incredible Pizza. Thank you. That's what it's called. It's kind of like a Chuck E. Cheese with a little bit better food and a little bit more stuff to do. So we had fun. We had a really good visit with the kids. And then last night we did a little bit of drinking with the fam and had played Cards Against Humanity with my brother and sister-in-law. To much hilarity ensued.
Much hilarity. We were laughing a lot. What's up, Heather? Exclusive elegance. What?
Yes, Allison says, welcome to my world. Yes, she has lots of little children's at home.
Yeah. My favorite thing this morning was I was doing my shipping, and Jack was on the stairs and he was making up a song. So he really is a kid after my own heart.
Oh yeah, he sings made up songs the whole time.
I don't know what he was talking about, but he was singing and just making up the lyrics as he went, and it was really funny and cute. And I was
he is like Katie. Yeah, and of course the kids like Katie. All kids like Katie. She's a big kid.
I'm silly. Here's the thing. I really do like kids. I love like joking around with kids. You guys would be shocked, but I tend to do and say things that make little kids giggle.
Yep.
So they're a good audience for me.
Yeah.
Because I can be real silly. And but I definitely I'm totally fine with like not having my own kids. Like,
yeah, we had fun.
And I don't want to have to like have to take care of a kid 24/7. So I'm good with like having nieces and nephews and all that stuff.
Well, I don't get to spend a lot of time with kids. I don't get to spend a lot of time with my niece and nephew because they live in Connecticut. So I get to see them once or twice a year. And I have, so it's hard. That's one of the harder parts about being away from them. And I do have a couple of other nieces, and we have a friend here with a 4-year-old daughter that we spend a lot of time with. And I'm a camp counselor for little kids too. So I like kids.
Yeah.
For the most part.
Yep. It's just nice when they go away.
It's just exhausting.
Yeah.
When they're in your
Sandy
own
says
home.
Borrow them and give them back.
Perfect. It's exactly right. It was a nice visit. So they had a great time, I think. They were a little bit older. Last time they came to visit was 3 years ago, and my nephew could not drive down the street without getting car sick and puking all over the place. So
it's always a little bit of the problem. There were a couple of times we'd be out, and then all of a sudden you'd hear in the back seat, my tummy.
But there was no puking. He
was able to manage not to throw up, and they got him some Dramamine, so that helped.
So it was funny.
Anyway, so yeah, was it yesterday that this came in the mail?
Yeah, day before
yesterday, Vicky goes, she's like, Teresa sent you something in the mail. And I'm like, she sent me something? What? And then I went and got the package, and I'm like, I wonder what this could be. You guys, check it out. Teresa sent us a headshot. And so my new dream, thanks to Frenchie, is to put headshots back on the wall. I mean, I'm going to keep my record frames up there because I like those, but I'm going to start putting up headshots. So anybody that wants to send me one, I will put it up.
Ridiculous.
She's like, yeah, we'll have them up for a while. And I'm like, a while? It's my wall. It's my wall, guys. You don't get to decide what goes on my wall. I decide what goes on my wall. And I'm putting headshots up on my wall.
Screaming? There is a microphone. They can hear you. It's not a walkie-talkie service.
Are you sassing me?
I am sassing. You're screaming right in my ear.
Are you sassing? Are you sassing me right now? Are you sassing Teresa? God. You need to settle down. Anyway, seriously, I love it. I love it.
It's pretty funny. It is pretty funny. I'm like, you do realize this is our home, right? We're going to have pictures of random people hanging on the wall.
In my office. I'm going to say it quietly, but I'm still going to say it firmly. That's my wall, guys. That's my wall, and I'm putting some headshots up. I just need to get some frames for them, and then they're going on the wall.
Dollar Tree has decent sized little black frames.
All right. Anyway, I'm just pretty excited about that. Anyway, so we don't have like a guest today. We didn't really have like a specific topic that we wanted to cover. So we thought we would do basically, I know we do like the Ask Me Anything kind of Q&A thing on Fridays for No Pants Friday.
That's exactly, like, Mary. We're going to get pictures of a bunch of people we don't know.
Pretty much. But that's like, that's like questions about anything. So today we've done this once before, like basically business related questions. So anything having to do with reselling, whether it's listing or sourcing or shipping or whatever it is you would have questions about, people, there's always stuff that's like, you kind of have to hear the information multiple times before you kind of get it drilled into your head. Yeah, there's Teresa.
It's kind of hard to get a picture of this. Sorry. I'll send you a picture of it, Allison. It's shiny. She's got it on photo paper, so it's shiny.
It's real shiny and nice. Anyway, so just go ahead and if you have any questions, start asking them. Another thing. So I saw that today, every Wednesday they do on eBay for Business, the Facebook page. Every Wednesday they do a live video.
Yeah, that's 12:15.
12:30.
12:30. Yeah,
they're nice
after us.
They're nice enough that they schedule it right after our show because they totally think about it.
They totally work around our schedule.
No, it just so happens to turn out that whenever we're done with our show, their little video starts. And so this week, the topic that they're covering is going to be holiday shopping behavior. And so I thought we should talk about it a little bit because it is true. And there's a reason why we talk about Q4 and, fourth quarter and how you're going to sell that stuff. Like people want to shop. They're like down to shop like crazy. I don't know. Do you buy a bunch of stuff during fourth quarter?
I do. I don't spend as much doing holiday shopping as I used to because I'm, my daughter's 25. So generally she just like wants money or something, specific. And then, last year I kind of went a little crazy. Last year was our first Christmas together. So I think I bought her a present for every day of December. And made her unwrap one a day leading up to Christmas. So I do that. But, you know, other than the nieces and nephew and stuff like that, I don't really do a ton of shopping anymore.
But the thing is, so a lot of people are like, oh, you know, you need to be selling new stuff, or you need to be selling toys or whatever. Like that's what's going to make money during fourth quarter. And the thing is, like, I sell all used clothing for the most part. I mean, I have some new stuff for sure, new shoes and stuff like that, but everything sells during this time of year. It's crazy. And I think there's a couple of things that happen. I think partially it's because of the weather. So like during the summertime, people are out doing stuff. They're outside. They aren't sitting around on their computers shopping as much. And now it's like, it's still nice here in Vegas, but over in Rhode Island, it was like 28 degrees or something crazy like that in the morning. So it's starting to get cold. People are staying inside. The weather's changing. They're buying jackets. They're buying all kinds of different stuff, or they're just bored. And so they're spending money. And then also it's like when you're buying gifts for other people, I know I end up buying a bunch of stuff for myself.
Yeah, I tend to do that too. So, and I really like to do the, the cyber, whatever, the Black Friday sales and Cyber Monday sales. I'm always looking to see what's on there. And usually that's the stuff I end up getting for myself. Yeah. More than for gifts. But,
oh yeah, I never go shopping. Like I don't do the whole Black Friday thing. I do it online. I do Cyber Monday. And
Black Friday, a lot of the deals you can get online now. So I like that.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, Christiane might be coming to Vegas in a few weeks for her anniversary. You better let us know, because I would definitely love to hook up with you. So let's see. There's a question in there somewhere. The Truth wants to know how to get to reps to answer the phone for eBay to speak with someone that can actually help. They've been dealing with something for the past 40 days. There's really only the one number to call unless you are a member of eBay Open and you have a concierge service.
Which is funny because Heather just said, by the way, Katie, I love eBay Concierge. They're awesome.
So that's really only the only number that there is to call is the customer service number. But I would suggest, if you're not getting the answers or the help that you need, to contact eBay for Business through their Facebook page.
Yeah.
Send them a message through their Facebook page detailing what you need or what your issue may be and how they can reach you, what your store name is. They will get back to you.
Yeah, sometimes it'll take like a day,
keep in mind that that's a different person than anyone that you've ever spoken to. So, you're going to get more help with honey than vinegar, as the saying is. So
the thing is, Concierge is amazing, and I'm sorry for those of you that don't have it, but if anybody who went to eBay Open last year, went this year, you get to be in the Concierge program. And I will tell you, I know that they're working on expanding it. I know that they're working on bringing better customer service to everybody. It just takes time. I mean, with Concierge, we are getting a higher level of customer service, and it's like that costs money. Like we're getting representatives that are here in the US. I don't know if all of them are in Utah, but a good number of them at least are in Utah. Yeah. And so they're definitely, the way that they run that program, it does cost more money. So to be able to get that level of service, but they're working on it. I know they're working on it. And when they started with Concierge, they were talking about how terrible they were with their customer service. And they admitted it. They said, we have done a really bad job with this, and we're making a difference. And we're going to be changing this. So hopefully eventually that's going to go to everybody. I don't know.
One Witch Lady, you should be in the Concierge invite. You may already be in there. It automatically opted you in. If you did not get the email, I would definitely make a phone call because I'm pretty sure everybody is in Concierge that went to Open at this point.
If you call the regular number to eBay, the recording will, if you are in the program, it'll say something. It'll say like, please wait a moment. Well,
it's really the same phone number. It's the same phone number that everyone else calls, but it recognizes your main number that you're calling from for some reason.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Christiane says, I don't have to call often, but I would certainly pay for the option. Let me tell you, I mean, as much as I don't want to be like, hey, eBay, we'll pay you if you'll give this to us. Honestly, as a business owner, and with this being my full-time business, I would pay extra for Concierge if that was the only way to get it.
They've saved me hundreds this year alone.
Yeah, because I've had to call, since I first got it, I had to call many times for different things. And you know what? It's easier now to call because I know I'm going to get, like one time I had to wait 8 whole minutes on hold. And I was like, what is happening? What is going on with Concierge? So it's like, you never have to wait very long. They always are super helpful. They'll get back to you and, basically like they'll call you back like the next day to wrap things up or to make sure things happen the way they were supposed to happen.
It's a good program. Heather asked, did I get to go to that estate sale? It's actually tomorrow, Heather. The estate sale is on the 25th. I would not have been able to go with my family here at all. There's no way. I might go tomorrow. I'm not sure yet.
What is she talking about?
She sent me some information about a local estate sale that looked like it had some really good stuff.
Interesting.
So I may try to go tomorrow.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of now we're down to one car, and Katie likes to go sourcing on Thursdays. So we might pop in the morning, maybe not. I'm going to double check on it this afternoon. Honestly, I've been working 14 to 16-hour days for the past, I can't tell you how many weeks. I don't have time to do anything else or to add anything else to my plate right now. Man. And I still have a ton of stuff to list. So I may or may not go.
Yeah, no. One which lady wants to know, have we ever thought of changing up our whole eBay store and what we sell? Not me. I love having to focus on men's clothing. It just works for me. I like having like sort of an expertise in a specific category. You sell a little bit of everything, so your stuff is always shifting. I actually did change up my stuff. I've already done that. I've been selling now full-time for 10 years, but before that I was selling for about 5 years part-time. It'll be actually 10 years in December that I've been doing this full-time. And I used to sell only antiques and collectibles, and I never thrifted. I never sold clothing. I had never sold shoes. I had never even walked into a Savers or a Salvation Army or anything like that in my life. So I didn't start doing that until 5.5 years ago. When I moved here, I realized that auctions were not where I was going to get the majority of my inventory, not in the same way. And I wasn't gonna be able to get as much for the amount of money. So I started thrifting and I started learning how to thrift. So yeah, and with because you sell a little bit of everything, it's like you're just gonna like organically and naturally like ebb and flow with different. I mean, there's gonna be things where this doesn't sell as much anymore, so now you're gonna focus more on this, and that's just the way it works. Now I have kind of locked myself in at this point to the stuff I sell, but I like it that way. Like it works for me. And I just did a post yesterday with the 2 or 2 post. I actually posted my numbers because I was super excited because I just, for the first time yesterday, broke $1,000 in the last 30 days on Etsy. So I was super, super stoked about that. And let me tell you, speaking of like bugs and issues on eBay, this summer, there were a lot of things that happened, like the pictures disappearing, lots of different, glitches that kind of came through, the way they changed things when they went to the 14-day waiting period to put things on sale. There were just a lot of stuff that I do feel like had some negative impacts on my sales, and I know yours as well. Mm-hmm. And at the time, it was super scary because like my numbers were way down, your numbers were way down. But you know what? It's like now, granted, I did plenty of bitching about it.
Oh yeah, sure. We all did.
It's like, listen, I try to be super positive about everything, but the reality is I'm like anybody else. I complain, I whine, all that stuff. But at the end of the day, you have to boss up and figure out what you're going to do about it. What
kind of changes are you going to make to try to make it work and create the workarounds?
And so for me, what I focused on was, I was doing more with promoted listings, doing higher percentages on promoted listings, changing how I price stuff. And really making a lot of changes to how I was doing things on eBay, and also making sure that I was, consistently listing every single day, like we talk about with the, hashtag 2 or 2, making sure I'm listing something every single day on eBay. But it definitely scared me, and so I put a lot of my attention into getting my Etsy store up and running, because I hadn't really done a lot with it in over a year, and so I decided I was going to dedicate some time every single day to work on my Etsy store. And I've been doing that consistently since I decided to start doing that. And look at what's happened. Now I'm up to over $1,000 in Etsy. My eBay store has rebounded. And now I'm up I think I'm up like 20% over last year, you guys. So that's a big deal.
I'm up almost 30% over last year.
Yeah, and so combined between my 2 stores, like I'm right at about $9,500 for the last month. And for the last 31 days, it's possible I could break 10,000 in October. I don't know if I've done that. I've never done that before, because my first year, 4th quarter, I remember December I hit 8,500. Mm-hmm. And last year I did break 10,000, but only in the month of December.
I did 12 last year. Yeah. I did 12 in December, and the past few years I've done between 9 and 12.
Yeah.
In October, November, and December. So I'm hoping to get there again this year. Last year was a dismal 4th quarter as far as I was concerned. I did better
It was tough because I moved here to Vegas in mid-December.
December 15th.
And so for the, from when we met in Open, at Open up until I moved here, it's like starting in September, we were flying to see each other every other weekend. So in the middle of fourth quarter, we were not able to work every day like we normally would have. So we did. I mean, it's not that we neglected our stores, but we had to balance it.
Yeah.
And so it really showed in our sales. It really did. And then I moved in the middle of fourth quarter. So it just kind of shows, like, when we talk about this stuff about listing every single day, it's not for nothing. It's like it really does have an impact.
An active store is a happy store. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, let's get to some of these questions because you are very
long-winded
as usual.
Okay.
So Fatima asked, how do I get more views? New to eBay, coming from Posh. Okay, first of all, views are not quite as important on eBay as they are on Posh, the sharing of the closet and all that kind of stuff. Definitely try to use social media to get a few more views on your things, but the most important thing on eBay is to be consistently listing and adding new items to your store. If you have good products, they're going to be found and they're going to be purchased.
Yeah.
Good products, good policies, good pricing, what people want. Free shipping, free returns, fast shipping, all of those type of things. Those are the algorithms that make your store more visible, make your items more visible. You're not going to get 1,000 views on an item. It's not going to happen. There's just too many items on the platform. I have plenty of items that sell that have had 3 views and they've been up for a month. It is what it is. If you have something specific, it's going to take some time for a customer to find it. So just stay active on the store and stay active in your store or on your listings and just keep listing things. And that's really how you're going to how you're going to get more activity. The more items you have, the greater percentage of what you have that is going to sell. It's a numbers game. If you have 10 things listed, don't expect to sell anything. Maybe 1, maybe 2. The more items that you have listed, the more you're going to sell. If you're focusing on clothing and shoes, so you say you come from Posh, that's probably what you're focusing on. If you're focusing on clothing and shoes, you've got to understand that you're going to have a much lower sell-through rate than almost every other category because both of those categories are saturated. And that's not a bad thing. I sell plenty of clothing and shoes, and that's all that Katie sells. You just have to make sure that you have good products at good prices for your stuff to be seen and sold.
Yeah, and good keywords and good, and everything. We talk about like eBay's best practices. They give you all these guidelines of what you're supposed to be doing, and and some people they get upset about like them telling you to do free shipping and all these things that you should be doing. But the truth is, they're giving you a roadmap and all the things that you need to be doing in order to bring your stuff higher in the search, and that's what gets you more views. So, I do free shipping on everything. I know that everything I sell is pretty relatively lightweight, and I don't really have anything that ships for more than $8 to $10 because I use cubic priority. But I do free shipping on everything. But all these things kind of come together to push you up in the search. You can be using promoted listings. Those are going to get you more views. They just are, because you're getting double the exposure. Having stuff in the right categories, using good keywords, and of course having just good stuff.
Yeah. So Mary asked, do we feel like our sales are slower on Etsy, or are they about the same as eBay? Way slower.
Way slower.
Yeah, I do. Right now I'm doing around $8,000 to $9,000 a month on eBay, and I think I did $400 in the last 30 days on Etsy. So for me, Etsy is only in the last 3 months that I've actually been active there. So I can't even compare the two, honestly.
Yeah.
And I have far fewer items listed on Etsy.
I have about 1,800 items on eBay, and so the last month I'm at about $8,500 in gross sales. On Etsy, I have like 650 items, so I, almost a little over a third of the amount, and my sales are just over 1,000. So it's not. They just don't have the same traffic, but a lot of the stuff I sell, I'm selling at higher prices than I sell on eBay. I did just start in the last week and a half playing around with promoted listings on Etsy. They do it a little bit differently than eBay. So no, not as much, but it definitely, once I'm doing them together, I mean, I'm potentially going to be able to hit $10,000 in 1 month because I'm doing them both. So,
yeah, Rope and Reseller wanted to know, how many things a day do you try to list, or do you think in dollar amount? I think both of us go by number of items, not dollar amount. I don't necessarily try to do a certain number a day, but I do list at least 100 new items a week.
Yeah,
personally. How about you?
I don't necessarily focus on a number per week, but I definitely do number of listings rather than, I don't look at the dollar amount, because I know a lot of people do. They'll be like, I listed $950 worth of stuff today. I don't think about it that way. but I basically just try to list everything that I bought the week before. That's kind of like my goal if I can help it. And also just getting listings up every single day. So even if I have a day like this week where we didn't have as much time, there are a couple of days where it's like I only got 3 or 4 new listings up, but I'm doing it every single day. I hope I can get like about maybe like 100 a week if I can, but that's not always going to happen. So
yeah, I mean, I try to do about 100 a week because I buy that much. So I'm like, I try to get my stuff listed. I don't have anything in the house that's more than 2 weeks old. And right now I've got a few things that are over 2 weeks, and that's making me antsy because I have not gotten to list quite as many things as I normally do in the past week or so. So buckling down over the next week or so. My best friends are coming in from Rhode Island and coming to visit us for a week, and they get here a week from today. So I have a week to recover from the last visit, get all the sheets and towels washed, and get a bunch of stuff listed so I can take time to play a little bit more with my friends.
Hit Flippin' Mama super chat $4.99. Awesome. She so Kelly's saying, you know, she's sending little hearts for the well wishes. I said in the last show, her mom had a bad reaction to
medication.
She got knee replacement surgery, and so was in a really bad shape. Was pulling through. She said, "Mom knows who I am now and can say small sentences. Please keep praying. It works. I appreciate and love you all so much." So
basically, her body was not processing the pain medication, is what I'm hearing.
Yeah,
properly.
So it was kidneys or
kidneys and liver, and because that's what processes.
Yeah, so it was it wasn't flushing them through, so she was building up. And
so it was like she was ODing.
Yeah,
because it wasn't processing the pain medication properly, and it wasn't working the way it was supposed to.
So we're super glad to hear that she's doing better. So
thank you,
and we love you too.
Let me see.
Waste Not Whatnot. I signed up for Pirate Ship, saved a bunch. Thanks so much. Yeah, seriously?
I feel like we're doing infomercials for Pirate Ship every show. We don't know these people. I swear. We don't get any money out of it. They're not endorsing us. They have no idea who we are. They just have the best pricing for,
hands down best pricing for
first class international. And then the cubic pricing is on the same platform. And cubic pricing is fantastic. So
and
you can get cubic pricing in other places. You can get it through Fit Shipper.
Yeah.
And the person who created Fit Shipper, Josh, is a member of the Boss Facebook group. So definitely, if you're not shipping your own international, but you still want to do cubic, go check out Fit Shipper, support a local seller. They're both great programs.
It's just crazy. Like Jason Deason he posted something in his Facebook group, eBay Sellers Anonymous, of showing all of his shoes. And he was talking, somebody asked like how he ships them. And he was talking about he has like a specific box that he uses. And I looked it up, and the box that he's using when you ship it cubic was coming in as a 0.3 tier cubic. Well, almost any pair of shoes, if you ship them the way I ship them, and you do it in the 12x15 poly bag, almost any pair of shoes can fit in that 12x15 poly bag, and that's a 0.2 tier. So I was giving him a heads up about that because it's going to save him.
He is throwing money away.
Like literally every single, no matter where it's going in the country, a 0.2 to 0.3 tier difference is going to be at least $1 or $2 every single package. And the further away it goes, it can be like $4 cheaper, $5
I shipped a pair of women's cowboy boots to Florida yesterday, and they were just under 3 pounds. I was able to package them in that cubic tier poly mailer. I wrapped them and secured them so they weren't bendy or anything like that. Shipped them in the poly bag. It was $17 and change for me to send them priority. Cubic shipping was $8.45.
Yep.
If you are not using this, you are throwing money away, and it is just a shitty business decision.
Yeah.
Sorry. There is no reason why anybody should be throwing
Well, they just
money
didn't know about it, because here's the thing. Like, we didn't know about it until, like, I think I've been using it now for a few months. But we didn't know about it before then. It's not like it's a new thing. So for the last, 2+ years that I've been selling, I have been way overspending on shipping. But the second you hear about it, it's like, yeah, you need to make that change. Waste Not Whatnot. Fit Shipper also does cubic rates.
Yep.
Their rates are identical to Pirate Ship, so it's just a choice whether or not you want to use one or the other.
Either one will work for you.
They both do it. So if you're using Pirate Ship now, I mean, just keep using it. It's fine.
And if you ship shoes in a poly bag, don't get all mashed up in transit. It depends on the shoes. First of all, tennis shoes, forget it. Nothing's going to happen to a pair of sneakers or tennis shoes. If you wrap them,
this is why I wrap them. This is exactly
Katie has shown a few times, and so and I do the same thing. As we wrap them in in
No,
like
you can have shoes up here anymore, but
saran wrap, these little saran wrap things. And basically, if you place them properly and wrap them tight, you secure the package so nothing can happen to them. And then you slide it into the poly bag. And in doing that, they're secure. They're not going to bend. They're not going to get busted up. It's in a poly bag. Nothing's going to happen unless the poly bag was punctured. And that would be damaged by the post office, which is the same thing that could happen if you're shipping a pair of jeans in a poly bag. So it's no different than something like that. It makes it a solid little package.
So like if it's high tops, like I will turn them so that they kind of come together in a square. And then when you wrap them up, it just, like she said, it secures them in place. So it's not like they're just hanging, like flopping around in a bag where anything that gets set on them is going to squish them.
Yeah, it doesn't happen. I don't ship high heels in a poly bag. High heels, I make sure to package properly in a box because heels can snap. But something that's a pair of sneakers or a pair of boots or something with solid, you know, flats or anything like that, they can definitely go in the poly bag easily without any chance of them being damaged.
Yeah, faded. We can do a video on mailing shoes and poly bags because we need to do an updated video on probably doing cubic anyway. Because we have more shortcuts now. When I first did the video that I did, it was when I first learned about it. So I was talking a lot about using like boxes and stuff. Now I pretty much don't use any boxes because I can just about do everything I need to do in bags. And it cuts down substantially on the volume.
Yeah, and Tara Lori, listen, I am with you on the algebra, the geometry. You don't need to figure it out yourself. All you have to do is put down the length and the width, and they're going to tell you, and that's it. It figures it out for you. You don't have to figure out cubic yourself. You're not doing geometry and figuring out, you know,
no, it's just volume. It's just volume-based pricing, and that's why we need to do another video because, like I said, now that I've kind of been doing it for a while and figured out, like, oh, using the 12 by 15 bag is a great shortcut because I know already it is 0.2, and I know that's going to be a certain price.
I mean, if you search in our earlier videos, Katie has already done one of the videos on it, and you can take a look, but we will do an updated one if you'd like. But if you search in our videos, you will find more. Allison says, do you need to make the poly mailer the same size as the inner shoes? No, it can be a loose poly mailer. Yeah, it can be loose. You don't need to package it around it or tape it down or anything like that. So we'll show you how to do it. But if you look at some of Katie's earlier videos, she does show you how she wraps the shoes and how she puts them in a box or a poly bag.
But no, it's if you're doing Allison, if you're doing the soft pack option rather than a box, so that's when you're using the poly mailer. It is loose because the idea is because you're giving them the length times the width. It's however it fills up the bag, it's the whole volume of that bag.
There's only so much that bag can grow based on length and width. So they're accounting for it being as puffy as possible. You can put a box inside the poly bag and it is going to still be the poly measurement. It doesn't matter what you put in the bag. Doesn't matter how heavy it is, what you put in the bag. It's all based on the measurement of the bag. It's like using a flat rate mailer or a flat rate box that has a specific set pricing with the post office. Your size of the mailer or whatever you're using has a specific price.
Yeah. All right. So somebody asked a question. I'm not entirely sure. Let me see. Naomi Jones, how do you use the 1,000 listing special that eBay throws out under certain categories? I have a store and use both store and auctions all used up now. I want to use the 1,000 listings. Okay. So here's the thing, guys.
Everybody is different.
Yeah, so they will randomly send you a promotion and they'll be like, hey, here, have 500 free listings. You have 2.5 days to use them. And it's like, I don't think I can list 500 or 1,000 listings in the next 3 days or whatever it is. And so it's always kind of like, oh, thanks for that special offer that I can't possibly use up. Here's the thing. One of the things I suggest to people, because we always talk about like ending your oldest listings and doing sell similar to kind of refresh them. So one of the things you can do if you don't have, let's say you only have 20 things that you can list right now, but you want to use up some more of those listings. If you have old listings that have been up for months, go ahead and end a bunch of them and do sell similar and use up some of those free listings so you don't get charged for them. And then bam, you got a bunch of refreshed listings and hopefully you'll make some sales.
It
didn't cost you anything. So just a thought.
Debbie says she has a wakeboard, needs to look into all these methods, big, bulky, and heavy. This is not going to work for something like that. A wakeboard that is big, bulky, and heavy, the best pricing is going to be FedEx ground. FedEx ground is pretty much anything big and bulky. That's what you're going to want to use. I mean, UPS is okay too, but the pricing I have found is better on FedEx, whether you're using you create an account and use your own account, or you're using it through eBay's account, it's definitely the best.
Yeah. Tara Lori once says that she loves my shirt and wishes I would do some kind of Elvira style top 10 Halloween movie special. I don't know. We could think about maybe doing a special show where we just talk about like what our favorite movies are. That'd be kind of fun.
That's gonna be mostly you if it's
but we could both
Halloween style.
But it could be a top. We could each do like our top 10 favorite horror movies. We'll think about it. I like the idea personally.
Maybe we could do that on a Friday show.
And I like what we can't have it be a special show.
Oh, I suppose.
Because a Friday show, that's an Ask Me Anything.
That's true.
I'm just saying we could. We'll think about it. We'll see what our schedule looks like.
Frenchie's at the doctor's office and with mom, forgot her headphones. Lady next to her is listening to the show. Hi, lady next to Frenchie at the doctor's office.
What's happening? Lady in the doctor's office. Oh, I'm singing you a song for you. You think she likes that?
I think poor Frenchie.
So either she's laughing
right
or she's feeling very uncomfortable right now. Either way, I won't apologize. I will not apologize. Okay.
Oh my goodness.
Anyway, so let's see what other questions we got going on.
And yeah, Mary, we've been talking about the Fit Shipper and the Cubic shipping and Pirate Ship for quite a while now. It's just we always have new people that are watching, and every time we have a live show, people ask more questions about it. So
yeah, and we just want to have. We also just want to have like a definitive, like up to date video. It'll probably be like one that we like do pre-recorded that just kind of walks people through like the super basics of Cubic. So it makes it easier. So like in the Facebook group and stuff like that, when people ask questions, I can just like link to the video.
Oh goodness, her name is Nancy. Hi, Nancy.
Oh, hey Nancy, what's up?
Everyone in the nail salon can hear you. Waste not, want not says. Okay, when international DJ asks, when international buyers choose priority mail, can you use regular poly bags and use Pirate Ship, or do you use the flat priority packages from USPS and an eBay label? You can ship anything in any packaging to go international priority.
Yeah, if you can use.
But if you choose the priority packaging that says flat rate, you're going to pay the flat rate pricing,
and you have to use you have to use the priority boxes.
Correct, and that is the same as shipping priority within the U.S. So priority flat rate pricing international is really pricey. You are very rarely going to want to use that as your packaging method. Mm-hmm. You want to use a regular priority box or something else, but you only want to use priority if your item is over 4 pounds. If your item is under 4 pounds, you want to use first class international. Yeah. There is no difference in delivery time. There's just a huge difference in price.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, No Pants Horror Movie Night with Katie and Vicky. Heck yeah. Let me tell you guys, I've had to wear pants for the last few days because we had visitors and kids and stuff. So whatever, I had to put pants on. Okay.
I would say, as far as there's a couple of questions there.
They walked out the door and I was like, goodbye, pants
off. Do you send hats in a bag? And then someone asked, how do I package a baseball hat to ship cheaply but safely? I would suggest using your eBay free shipping supply coupon and getting the 8x6x6 boxes. The 8x6x6 boxes ship hats perfectly. Usually weigh. What size is that?
This is not
the square one.
This one works really well.
That works too. And it usually weighs in at about between 8 and 10 ounces, so it's first class.
This is the 8x6x4, and this box actually, it's like the perfect. It's like the hat just barely. You have to kind of angle it a certain way, but it fits right in there.
It's just so you don't crush the bill.
Mm-hmm. And what I love about this box in particular is that it doesn't. Pretty much almost never goes over 8 ounces. Mm-hmm. So it makes it really cheap, like if you're sending it internationally, because it doesn't jump up to the next level for calculated shipping.
Right.
So yeah, but yeah, I don't do bags because the thing is, like, yeah, a lot of people aren't going to care, but there are some people who will care, and I don't want them to feel like I just threw their hat in a bag.
Yeah. So 8x6x4. I mean, this one is 8x6x4. That's what she's got in her hand. Mm-hmm. Let's see. I had another question there I saw. Can you scroll up for a second?
Yes.
Oh, Lori Pachica asked, any tips for telling the difference between vintage plastics like Lucite versus Bakelite versus just regular plastic? Lucite has a certain look to it. Lucite generally means a clear plastic, and sometimes it has things embedded in it like flecks of gold or silver. That's usually what Lucite means. Lucite is generally a type of plastic that is semi-clear or semi, see-through. Bakelite, you can tell Bakelite, there's a pretty easy couple of tests that you can look online and tell you how to do it. But the easiest way for Bakelite testing is to get Formula 409, the spray, and use a Q-tip. And if you spray the Q-tip and rub on the Bakelite, the Q-tip will turn yellow, a very distinctive yellow if it's Bakelite. That's the easiest way to test Bakelite. Those are just two easy ways to test, and that versus regular plastic. Sometimes you're just not going to be able to know. Lucite is just a style of plastic more than a specific kind of plastic, if that makes any sense. I hope that made sense.
I don't know nothing about that stuff.
Simichrome polish is another one as well, but that's something that most people just don't have in their house. But Formula 409 is something that's real easy. You can pick up at your grocery store.
So Karen wants to know if we use a handling fee with international. Here's the thing. I don't use a handling fee for international, for domestic, but yeah, international, I love when I sell something international, because I do free shipping in the US. And when somebody buys something from me internationally, they're paying for the shipping. So I'm already making more money because they are paying for the shipping and I don't have to. And because I'm using the simple export rate, on pirate ship, I'm saving even more money on the shipping. So to me, it's like, I'm not doing anything extra. Yeah, I have to sign the label, but it's like big deal. Like why would, it's not extra work and I'm making more money. So why would I charge them more for that? I'm not going to do it. No.
Tara Lori said, Vicki, you're just so proud of me. I bought 3 garbage bags of beaded vintage 60s Christmas ornaments yesterday. Remembered your Girl Scout patch sale and went for them. It's going to be a great sale. Awesome.
Yeah.
Laura Franzica is actually excellent at, she's in the boss group. She's not, I don't think she's in the chat today, but she is excellent at vintage Christmas ornaments. So in the boss group, if you run into anything that you have any quick questions on, she'd be a good point person to ask if there's something specific you need a question on.
Armando's asking, do you cover the corners on the boxes? They seem to have holes.
No.
Yeah, when you fold the edges. No.
Nope.
I never have.
I never have.
But now it's like I don't really send. I mean,
I'm not sending sand in the boxes, so it's like there's nothing's going to fall out or really get in. I guess it's like any box. Nothing is sealed. It's not. Nothing's hermetically sealed. So stuff can get in, but I don't really bother with that.
I almost never use boxes anyway. Like very rarely. I do have some hats listed, but I haven't listed any new hats in a long time, so I don't really worry. I
shipped out like 5 hats the other day, which is weird. I don't usually sell that many, but they all happened to sell on the weekend. I sold like 5, which is an odd number for me. Let's see. Oh, Karen said Karen Kaz made Power Seller and Top Seller a couple days ago. So yay, congrats.
Awesome. Very cool.
And Middle East Millie, I'm a newbie with 50 free listings. If I want to advance to a basic store, do I still have to get permission? No, the thing is that if you want to sign up for a store, that doesn't automatically increase your number of listings when you're still limited. So that's something I would actually call eBay about. And if you call them and you're at a limited number and you tell them that you want to start with open a basic store, they will generally bump your listings up at least a little bit, but they're not going to automatically bump you to the highest number of listings for that basic store just by opening the store. So you might still have the limit of 50 listings, even though your store says you can list, I don't even know what the basic store level is, 250, I think. So I would definitely make a phone call. If you've been selling a little bit and you've got a couple feedbacks under your belt, you might be okay. They might bump you up a little bit more.
Yeah.
That's case by case for sure.
Yeah, because there's 2 different things. There's your listing limit because you're a new seller. And then there's the number of listings you get with a store, depending on the level of store you get. So yeah, you don't want to be paying for a store if you're not even able to like list that many with your listing limits yet. So you need to find that out.
And they are very nice when you ask. That's true. The new Formula 409 doesn't work on Bakelite anymore. L. Rose says
maybe they
might have changed the formula. The formula is not 409 anymore then. That I was not aware of. I haven't had any issues with it, but I also haven't purchased anything Bakelite that I've tested in a really long time. So maybe it is Simichrome that you're going to need to get. So Simichrome is something you can buy on Amazon or eBay. It's not always available in your local store.
Kara Cooper, do we put hats or other items in a Ziploc bag before shipping in a box? No, I don't. And Megan has a good idea. Says when you show your solds on Sundays, it'd be neat if you'd say, Oh, must be somebody delivering something. It'd be neat if you'd say if it went international or domestic. I think it's interesting to see what goes overseas and what items tend to sell more stateside. Yeah, we can do that. If we remember to do that, we will. Usually, I think
I do mention it sometimes. Because sometimes I'll say I accepted a lower offer because I knew they were going to pay shipping because it went international or something like that. So yeah, I can do that.
Yeah, absolutely. Anywho, any other questions, guys? You can find Simichrome at your local Harley-Davidson dealership.
Oh, good to know. Didn't know that.
I guess, yeah, if that's something that you're going to be buying a lot, I guess it's good to have tools of the trade.
Honestly, it's going to be one of those things that'll sit in your cabinet that you'll use a couple times a year. Kind of like the 409. I actually keep 409, and mine might be an old one, specifically for that reason, because I don't really use it when I'm cleaning the house. So
yeah, for sure.
So I'm hoping that, as a matter of fact, that's either a delivery or it's another person political coming to the door for the 10th time.
We need to go vote. I hope, not to talk about politics at all, guys, but everybody should be voting. I would love it if 100% of the people who could vote would vote. And
Jerry wants to know what I have on I have my hat. I'm wearing a hat. I don't wear a lot of hats when my hair is this short, but I generally do wear hats quite a bit. Not as much as Katie, but. And she and I like different kind. I like what they call the dad hat style, I guess. So anyway, I got this hat when we went on our little boating trip when we were in Michigan. We went on these little retro boats, and it was cool. It's like,
yeah, they're really cool.
It's like a distressed baseball hat.
So Tara wants to know, have you heard about missing item specifics on shoes? I tried to list heels last night and there were no item specifics. I did hear, I think Alexis was having a problem with it. I haven't seen that, but I haven't listed any shoes super recently. But there was one day when that was happening where we were. I
haven't listed shoes in a couple of days.
But do you remember, there was a month ago or so that was happening, and what I found was I had to save it as a draft and come back to it a couple of times, and then it finally popped up. So I don't know that they're missing permanently, or if it's just a weird little glitch thing that they're not showing up. So hopefully that's the case.
Yeah. DJ asked, on the international label, do you disclose the actual price amount of the item if it costs $100 or more because of security reasons? So the answer is yes. There's a few reasons why. You need to know what the amount was that the buyer paid, because most countries internationally charge a VAT tax or some type of customs fee, and they are going to charge it based on the amount the customer paid. And you need to have an invoice in your package for either on the inside or the outside. When you ship something international, you need to have an invoice in the package. That's first. Second of all, if you ever have an insurance claim, whatever you have on that piece of paper is what you're going to be able to claim as an insurance amount. If you claim zero, you're out of luck.
And sometimes buyers will ask you to mark it as a gift or to lower the value, and you never want to do that
because you're doing business it's a business that you're in. It is not a gift, and customers will sometimes ask, but you just have to tell them, I'm sorry, I ship internationally all the time. I need to declare the actual amount. Now, as far as worrying about an item being stolen or anything like that, I will say, instead of letting the description auto-populate into the label of what the item is, I change it to something generic. Yeah. I'm not going to put Louis Vuitton bag. I'm going to put pre-owned handbag. Yeah. Or pre-owned purse. Or
men's t-shirt, men's
t-shirt, sweater, shoes, something very generic. Because it's not necessarily going to get taken because of the dollar amount. It might get taken because of what the item is described as. Obviously, there are items that are more high theft than others, and countries that have more issues than others. So I would definitely do that. And then I would also make sure, not always, but sometimes I will put that the item is pre-owned, even if it isn't, because that's my one little tip to help people internationally. Because depending on what country they're in, some countries charge more for new items as a custom import tax as opposed to a pre-owned item.
Yeah. The other thing is, now that we have access to the simple export rate and pirate ship, I've actually started paying for insurance on every single thing I send overseas, regardless of the price, just because it's why not? Because with that, it's such a big discount that when they pay the calculated rates on eBay, there's enough money there for me to buy the shipping label, pay for insurance, and still have money left over of what they pay for shipping. So I've been doing that. And so like she said, it's super important that you have an accurate amount that you're claiming on that for insurance.
Lori Pachuca asked a very specific question. How do you do a search for RN numbers? There is a database called, just if you Google RN clothing database and just keep that as a drop down. It's not the best thing to help. It helps you occasionally here and there. If you find an RN number, or if there's a tag on something vintage and you have just the RN number and not the manufacturer, it's a quick search. If you can't find it, don't go crazy. Yeah. It's never anything you want to spend too much time on.
And a lot of times the name of the company that the RN is registered under is not the same as the
it's
name
like their
of
DBA.
The brand.
Yeah. It's
so
a lot of, yeah. So
it helps sometimes.
The other thing she said is, let me see.
But yeah, it's not important to include it in your listing.
Oh, you don't need
that
to
doesn't
include
help
anything.
And I want to say real quick here, because I hear this somewhat frequently. For some reason, somebody at some point came up with this idea that there's like a formula that somehow you can take an RN number and figure out a formula that's going to tell you how old the piece of clothing is.
It's bullshit.
That is absolutely not true, because here's the thing. The RN number, it was given to that company at a specific point in time. So let's say
when they registered as a corporation.
Let's say they registered as a corporation in the 1960s. Well, that number is going to be the same on their clothing that's made in the 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000. Like
as long
it's
as
always
they
going to be the same. So it's not going to tell you anything. So it's totally bogus, this idea that you can somehow do math with the RN number. It's going to tell you how old a specific piece of clothing is. Now, if that were true, I would love it. It would be awesome. And let me tell you, we'd be figuring out dates of everything all the time. But it's just not true.
Yes, no, it's not like an ISBN number for books, not at all. Don't even worry about it. The only time I may look at an RN database twice a year. If I have something vintage and it has an RN number, but not I can usually date something by a tag or by the article of clothing or how it looks or how it's made. I just sell a lot of vintage, so I know how to do that. But if there's, once in a while, there'll be an RN number, but not a manufacturer's number. And maybe I'll look it up just to see if it's something fantastic that the actual brand makes a difference in the selling price. You really shouldn't be using it all the time. It's just really not that necessary. You're just taking an extra step that you probably don't need to take.
Tara says, today I had a buyer open a PayPal INAD item as described to go run the eBay return for fit because they didn't return the item in the correct time for eBay returns. What should I do? I mean, PayPal's not as easy to I don't know how that would go if she showed them like that it was for fit. Personally, I would just say, okay, return it to me. I mean, I know that that's probably not like the best answer. You probably would like to not have to take the return. I would just take the return, make them send it back to you before you give them any kind of refund. I did have this happen one time. I had somebody say they didn't even open a case on eBay. They just opened it directly on PayPal and said that it was like not the size that it said it was, which it was the right size. And I said, okay, return it to me. And you know what? They didn't return it. So they never got their money back. But if had they returned it, I would have then just relisted it and sold it. But it's not worth trying to battle it, and then you end up losing the fight. And then
it doesn't happen often, but just tell them to return it.
Yeah,
tell them to return it. And I get that maybe you might lose the shipping on the item, at least the first way, because PayPal does not send them a shipping label to return it to you. So you might be out your original shipping if you did free shipping, but for the most part, just take it back, because if it happens, the amount of time that you're going to spend battling it on the phone or with the customer, or the chance of the negative feedback and then trying to get the feedback removed is definitely not worth it. Just take the item back, relist it for more money, and sell it again.
Yeah. It's just a waste of time.
So Meg asked about, on average, how much do you guys spend on inventory a month? I will say, me personally, I spend about between $1,200 and $1,500 a month on inventory.
That's probably about where I am at as well. And sometimes I'll go, sometimes
a lot less.
Sometimes I'll have a little bit more capital to play with, and I will do a bunch of retail arbitrage, and they'll spend a lot more. But I would say on average, it's probably like close to $1,500 a month.
Yeah.
So for sure.
Yeah. Trying to already deal with this was a complete waste of time. Yeah. You know what, Tara, just reply to them that you reply to the case. Don't ignore it, but reply to the case and say you will issue a refund upon return receipt.
Yeah.
And let it go. Don't ever reply again.
See, that's one of those things where it's like when you kind of like set your own kind of personal business policies, like within, I'm just talking about like in your head. Like, so for me, it's like, I'll just take any return. I'll take any return. I don't care. I'm not going to waste time. I'm not going to argue about it. I'm not going to lose sleep over it. I'm not going to send emails, make phone calls. all that stuff, because I've made that decision that like, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if they're a jerk to me. It doesn't matter how they word an email. It's like, if you just decide, I'm not going to take anything personally. And when somebody opens a case and wants something returned, I'm just going to automatically take it back. Like, it just makes it so much easier because you never have to worry about it.
That doesn't make it less annoying. Don't get me wrong. Nobody likes returns.
Sometimes you're going to get irritated.
Nobody likes the jerky customers. Nobody likes the return. Nobody likes taking a return on something because the customers lied about what was wrong with it or said there was something wrong and there's nothing wrong with it. Nobody likes it. It's just a part of doing business. I figure I'm going to have about 5% of my business is going to be either returns or dealing with a couple of jerks here and there. And that's life. Nothing is perfect.
There's a lot of jerk sellers too. And a lot of times the reason that people lie about stuff to try to get it returned is because they've had sellers, because there are sellers out there who, like, no matter what, will not accept anything. And it's like, and are jerks to them. It happens. Like, I've seen, we're in different Facebook groups, and I've seen people say, like, this customer has requested to cancel this sale, and it was something they hadn't even shipped out yet. And the seller is like, I'm not going to cancel it. They shouldn't have ordered it. And it's like, really? Like, maybe that's why buyers sometimes lie about reasons for wanting to, like, they'll be like, oh, sorry, my kid accidentally ordered this thing. I need to get it canceled.
My kid sent the best offer and confirmed it 17 times on 4 screens.
But the thing is, it's because there's some sellers out there, they probably had an experience in the past where they tried to cancel something and a seller was like, nope, can't cancel it. You already paid. And it's like, come on, let's just make it easier for everybody to take care of stuff.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a cost of doing business. That's the way you react and respond to these type of things is the difference between whether you're a hobby seller or a business. And that's the way you have to look at it. Do you want to make the money of a business? Do you want to be treated like a business? Do you want to treat this like a business and have it be an actual money-making venture and professional? Or do you want to be a hobby seller that's going to nickel and dime over and get frustrated over everything? And I get when you're starting out, your sales are slower, you're not making as much money. There is a process to get to the point where you're considered a business. And I understand that taking a $35 hit or even a $15 hit means a lot more to some people than it does to others. Don't get me wrong. It means a lot more to me some weeks. Some weeks it's like, oh, I've had a crappy week. I don't want to take that $50 return. But when you get to a certain point where you take emotion out of it and you treat it like a business, it makes it a lot easier to swallow the harder pills that happen.
And you'll find that your business will run better and you will make more money and you'll start growing faster. And it's just the reality. Listen, any business, you have to deal with a certain amount of shrink. And that's just the way it is. And I think that there's this expectation for a lot of people who sell online. And I think partially because it's so easy to just get started. It's not like, if I was going to open a store, a brick and mortar store, it's like, that's a bigger commitment. Like, you have to pay for all the stuff to get started. Like,
I have no desire.
It's serious business. But because anybody can just start listing stuff online, I think that there's a level of, not unprofessionalism, but a lot of people do start out as hobby sellers. And there's this idea that, like, things should just go right 100% of the time because they don't really come at it with this business standpoint or business perspective that, like, things will go wrong. It is just the way it is.
And that's part of your learning.
And it doesn't mean that eBay's failing. That doesn't mean that you're failing. It doesn't mean that all buyers are bad. It's business. It's like if somebody at the local grocery store freaked out every time something fell on the floor and broke, or every time somebody, like, put something in their pocket and walked out without paying for it, they'd have a hard time running a store. It's just, it's the way it is. And online, way better than brick and mortar. Let me tell you, you might have a couple of issues a year. I mean, even with the volume that we sell, it's just a few things a year that happen. But man, if we were in an actual brick and mortar store,
I will tell you, all the time. I had stuff in an antique mall when I lived in Rhode Island. And a lot of sellers do this. I had space in an antique mall, and I kept some of my nicer or bigger or higher end items in the antique mall. And I had that space for about a year, and it had great traffic. And I will tell you right now that I had more theft, damage, and issues in that antique mall in the year that I was there than I ever have online in 15 years.
Yeah. It's all about perspective. Allison, no, I'm not growing my hair out.
She just hasn't had a haircut since July.
Within this next week, I'm going to get my hair cut. I promise. But yeah, somebody said, Lorna said, if we all treated customers with the best practices, kindness, and professional, it's better for all of us, keeps buyers on eBay and brings more business for all of us. Yeah, and here's the thing, guys. Buyers are not professionals. They're just people buying stuff from us. We are the professionals. We have a certain conduct that we should be aspiring to. It's like we are the ones that need to act need to act in a certain way. So if somebody's jerky to us, it's like, whatever, that's just the way it is. You deal with it. But overall, it's like if you set like this kind of these set rules of how you're going to conduct yourself. So always being kind, always responding a certain way, regardless of how they're acting. You never know what's going to happen because they might be having a really crap day, and you don't know what's happening.
I've turned it around. I've had people contact me out of the gate belligerent about the littlest thing, and I respond with kindness, and I have them apologizing to me by the end of the conversation. It happens.
You don't know what's going on in their lives that's going to,
So nice. Shelly has a question. Just received a package back from the UK. I'm in Canada. I'm having trouble finding the sale as it was about 4 months ago. I haven't received any messages from the customer. At this point,
don't do anything.
There's nothing that you need to do. Yeah. If the customer contacts you, you can refund them the purchase price at some point if you feel the need to do that. If you can't find it, it's kind of on the customer to claim their package. It sounds like they probably didn't claim it, didn't want to pay the customs fees.
Yeah,
it occasionally happens. It only ever happens to me with international. You've fulfilled your end of the obligation at this point. I would put it aside for another month or so and then relist it and resell it.
Yeah. Yeah. Basically, whether it's domestic or international, once an item gets delivered or goes to where it's supposed to go, if it gets refused, they basically have forfeited their buyer protection. So technically you don't have to refund them anything. Now, like what she was saying, if they contact you, if you know who they are and you have the record of that, which you don't at this point, but if you do know, then yeah, you should, you can ethically refund them the cost of the item, but not the shipping. But since you don't even have the record of it, I mean, you can't really do anything. So let it go. Let it go, man.
Let's see. Nature Girl, sounds like you had a very bad experience with your purchase. I would definitely, I don't know how long ago your purchase was, but go through PayPal and file an item not as received, or call eBay or try to file it item significantly not as described, I should say. Because if a customer did that to you, you would have to accept the return and refund it. So,
DJ, I have a second eBay account just to sell shoes. Got a sale. The buyer sent a message with an offer to text him. I sent him a message letting him know everything needs to be handled through eBay. Yeah, you definitely always want to do that.
You want to do that. But if the buyer did send you the message to text them, I'm going to be the person that tells you, some people just need to talk to a person. It's not necessarily that they're wanting to do anything nefarious or try to take the sale off eBay. Don't do that. Send the message that you did. But if the customer wants you to text them, go ahead and text them. Sometimes I've more than once, I've had customers that are old. They don't understand the messaging system. They have a question. You can speak to a customer. That is not against eBay's rules. You are allowed to talk to customers. What is against their rules is trying to take a sale off eBay and selling it privately to avoid paying fees to eBay. That is what is against their rules. It is not against the rules to speak to a customer.
Now, if they see that message in there, because they have like bots or whatever that will flag messages that come in where it's like a phone number or an email address, where somebody's trying to take it off of eBay. So if that is there and then a day later you remove that listing without selling it, sometimes that can get you in trouble, because they're going to assume that what happened is you went off of eBay and sold it. So you do need to be careful. But yes, you can talk to your customers. I mean, that's why they have the new thing where your phone number, you can choose to have your phone number shown in your listings. And also, I don't know if you know this, but if a buyer requests your phone number, eBay will give it to them.
Yep.
So there is always a chance.
I have had phone calls here and there, and it's, sometimes they just I have a question or have some clarification. And if he hasn't paid yet, maybe it's because he can't figure out PayPal. Maybe he has a question. I don't have a problem talking to a customer. Sometimes customers need a little bit more handholding. Maybe they're not somebody that purchases online. Could be an old person. You don't know. David in Florida said he takes his pics with the Android cell and then emails them to himself, then download them to my computer before I upload them to eBay. Yeah, you've got too many steps going on there. If you take your pictures with your cell phone, I'm not sure what you have an Android, but there should be a way that you can sync it to Google Photos. Definitely or you could use Dropbox as someone else message there. There's easier ways than what you're doing. You're doing too many steps.
I have mine set up so that so I take my pictures with my phone, which is an Android, and it auto syncs to my Google Photos account. And so when I sit down at my desk and I have my computer, I do like when I'm working on a listing, I just go over here and I download those pictures and then upload them to my eBay listing. It's pretty fast.
Yeah, I mean, when Dana takes pictures for me, she uses my camera, and then I just upload them using my little USB cord. They upload and drop directly into my eBay folders for photos. And then when I take photos, I usually use my phone, and it syncs with Google Photos. And then I just zip them. I download them into a zip file, and they're in my eBay photos as well. Yeah. So
DJ wants to know about how long waiting to open an unpaid item for something that somebody hasn't paid. It's the second day, so you want to wait at least 48 hours. For them. That's like the least amount of time.
I wait 3 days, 3 or 4 days, I think.
Yeah, she has her set up for auto, so it automatically opens an unpaid case after 3 days. Then it takes another 4 days.
And they automatically close, and then it's automatically relisted.
Yeah, so that's how she does it. I used to have it done auto. Now I just do it by hand. So I usually, honestly, like I'll leave it for like a week or so, and then I'll finally go and open an unpaid case. I'm like, whatever. Sometimes people still pay a week or two later, and I'm like, it's the money. I'll take it. So
I don't draft. I don't use drafts, and I don't use my phone to list. So Nature Girl, that message would not work for me, but it might work for someone else. Let's see, Christiane. Yes, you do have to download photos from Google to upload to eBay. Yes, I download them using a zip file, and then I open the zip file and then put it in the folder that I need.
Because she does hers all at once. She likes to have them all at once. I actually do mine a little bit at a time. So like I'm doing a listing. And I have 2 screens here. So I have my listing happening over here, and then I have my Google Photos open over here. And it's super easy. I just like drag them over. It's like, cause you don't have,
she does stuff differently.
So I like drag. And then I click on to upload the photos, and then I just do, I select all of them at once, and it goes up. It really takes like not even 30 seconds.
Everybody's process and listing process is a little bit different. But David, it definitely sounds like you're doing a few too many steps. So you might want to Google how to better upload your photos depending on the type of camera that you're using and the type of computer that you're using.
Red Tulips Bag just did a $25 super chat. What?
That's a big one.
They said, I started reselling this year with no experience. I listen to your channel while I do my shipments. Your advice has helped me a ton. I made it as a power seller on eBay, and today I earned Posh Ambassador on Poshmark. Thanks, ladies. That is awesome.
Awesome.
And I'm going to bust out a super chat song for you. Super chat, say super chat, yow. And you making power seller on eBay and earning Posh Ambassador on Poshmark. You know how that makes me feel?
I don't know.
Yay!
Oh my goodness. Crazy. That's awesome. Congratulations, and thank you for the super chat and the shout out. That's awesome. That's really what we try to do, is help people improve their business and answer questions and do what we can to make it easier for you to make more money. That's what we're here to do, right? Jennifer thought you were drinking PBR. That was the other night she was drinking some PBR.
That's true. Christiane, I bet she is stoked like Steve. Yeah, it's just seltzer water. Not PBR. I was drinking. There's this place we go called Pizza Rock. There's a couple locations here in Vegas, and they have like an awesome happy hour. It's like really, really, really good. It's like sort of bar food, but it's like the next level up, because it's like they have meatballs and pizza, and
it's like, just a fantastic pizza
it's
place.
So good, and their happy hour is amazing. And they do this thing like they actually have like a crazy huge beer list, like good beer. But I can't help but get the PBR because they do a 32-ounce can, and they give it to you in a paper bag. And it's like $4 for this.
It's so ghetto trash.
It's so trashy.
It looks like you're about to go stand on the street corner drinking your booze out of the.
It's so trashy, but you know, PBR and pizza it goes well together. So I think
we went there for our friend's birthday dinner the other night.
Jennifer wants to buy you a pair of pink earplugs.
I need a pair of pink earplugs. If you want to know, I'm going to be deaf in this ear. She's deaf in her right ear. I'm going to be deaf in my right ear. We're going to make a wonderful pair. Yeah, seriously.
We need to get you some safety.
I have some. I have some sound canceling headphones that I used to use when I was doing my nursing courses.
We need to bust those out.
I used to have to listen to my lectures that I would record over and over again when I was studying, and I had to have the noise canceling headphones because if somebody was in the house and God forbid they like even turned a piece of paper in a book, I couldn't concentrate.
Yep. DuPage Picker, one day I'll be playing a slot machine and Katie's Yeehaw will be the bonus round video. Love you both. So Fader Faded wants to know if we use Etsy tags or our listings exact copies of eBay. I use all the tags if I can use them all. So for any of you who don't know, when you do a listing on Etsy, there's an option to put in like keywords or tags. And I think you have 13 that you can do. I try to use all of them if I can. It's going to add to bringing you up higher in search, I believe.
Yeah, so Dana does my cross posting, but she does use the tags. She just takes and uses the keywords that are already in the title and puts them down in the tags as well.
Yeah. Christiane, I had spinal meningitis when I was 10 months old. I got really, really, really sick. And my mom kept taking me to the doctor, and I think they kept diagnosing it as
just a cold.
No. They were diagnosing it as
ear infection.
I don't remember exactly what it was. Anyway, and the doctor was wrong, right? It was one of those things where my mom kept saying that like there's something really, really wrong with her, and he was like, whatever. And so I ended up being in the hospital for like I think 2 or 3 weeks, almost died, and it damaged my hearing a lot. I'm not totally deaf, but it's like I can't use the phone on this side. It's like I'm listening to Charlie Brown's mom. And I actually can hear. It's just I have a really, really hard time picking out sounds. So if there's any competing noises,
the ambient noise.
If there's any competing noises, like when you're in a store and there's music playing over the loudspeaker or whatever, but there's other stuff. Like I have a hard time like zooming in on that and like hearing what it is. So it can be really, really hard for me.
Yeah,
but whatever. So,
and it's really funny, actually. My mother is deaf in her left ear and blind in her left eye. She has cerebral palsy. And Katie is deaf in her right ear. So my entire life, my mother has been putting me on her right-hand side when I walk with her, talk to her, everything. So my entire life, I've been conditioned to be on the right-hand side of somebody because of my mom. And now on Katie, I have to be on her left-hand side. So it's funny because she will physically move me to the other side of her because she can't hear me. So now I'm all screwed up.
Yeah. So I say what a lot in my life. What was that? What were we saying?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So Cami says that I should grow my hair out. It looks like I have thick hair and that I should donate. I can donate.
She does. There are some pictures of her with long hair, but she won't grow it out.
I don't want to grow it out ever again. I also have really curly hair. With my hair, if it's long, it's like Shirley Temple hair. I get like the super tight curls.
Lorna, look on her Facebook page. There's pictures of her with long hair.
My Facebook page and look at old pictures of me with long hair.
And there was a message there that's gone now, but Latina Hustler, something about
I don't know.
I thought I saw lived in
I don't know. Anyway, it's getting a little late. We should probably wrap this up. But hey guys, thanks for coming and watching the show. We have like 150 people in here. Maybe give us a thumbs up if you enjoyed the show. We got a lot of work to do. You have a bunch of pictures you need to take.
I do. I see you
hauled like all your hard goods in the kitchen. You're gonna get ready to take pictures of those. Maybe I'll get a picture of you working, put it up on the Instagram. What do you think about that? So people can see the horrors that you're going through today. And I need to do a bunch of listing. But don't forget, eBay for Business. Their video starts at 12:30. You should go check it out. I'm going to watch it because I want to know what they're going to be talking about with holiday shopping behavior.
I'll be listening to it while I'm setting up my pictures.
Yeah, because I want to see. I don't know if they're going to be giving us any tips of how we can. I mean, I don't know. Usually it's some decent information, and they usually answer questions too if you have any questions about it. So 12:30 eBay for Business page. They're going to do a live video. I think Audrey will probably be on it. She's usually on there. We like Audrey. She's cool.
She is cool.
She's cool. Anyway, guys, thanks so much. If you're not in the Boss Facebook group, come join the group. You can hang out in there. We're doing Boss Up and List day to day, virtual listing party.
I hope everybody gets a lot of listings done.
Yeah, for sure. I don't know. You got anything else to say?
No, that's it. I got nothing.
Nothing? All right, cool.
Thanks for watching.
Love you guys. You're awesome. We'll see you on Friday, where I will also not be wearing pants.
Shocking.
All right, guys.
Oh, wait 1 second. Latina Hustler, new subscriber here. I live in Henderson too. Would love to meet you guys.
Oh, cool.
Awesome. Do me a favor. Send Katie or I a message through here and we will add you to our information. We do have a meetup group here in town that we're putting together. So we'd love to have you come and join. But I won't be able to find you under Latina Hustler. So send me a message and let me know who you are, and I'll get you added to our group.
Yep. All right,
We'll have
guys.
Teresa take us out.
Teresa says, boss up.